Good evening, everybody. My name is Beyond Sadistic. This is the MTGL or the MTGPL Legacy Fight Night, and tonight we've got a special one for you. With me tonight is Doc DeLeo. Doc, how you doing tonight?
How you doing, dude? I'm doing pretty good, you know. Oh, I'm excited because we have a very fun event today. So, highly requested, we're doing a little bit of a theme night when it comes to our Legacy Fight Night, and we are doing Pre-Innistrad Legacy. So, this has been a sort of like a popularized format within the last couple of years. There have been a couple of big name tournaments before COVID, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gotten the eye of a lot of big name podcasters as well as people like our community members who just want to jam some older cards before the days of Delver.
So, pre-Innistrad Legacy, you mean there's no Liliana?
No,
But
yeah, because
wait, Delver. There's
that's the
Delver
important.
though, right?
No, there's no Delver.
There's no Delver? How
There's
are we
no
even going to play
Delver.
Legacy?
Oh yeah, so this is fun because of the fact that it harkens back to an older era where it was just fun cards that were powerful but not super broken. I mean, there are things like Sensei's Divining Top, as we'll see later here, but this is a really fun matchup though, and the best part is no snow whatsoever.
No snow.
but
My mind is blown. I don't even know what to expect anymore.
Oh, please! Your deck is pretty much almost completely legal in Pre-Innistrad Legacy with Infect, dude.
Back in the simpler days when Gataxian Probe used to fuel your become immense.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
so
my
good.
God, it was so good.
Well, that was
And
that. Granted, in pre-Innistrad there was no become immense, but it looks like
yeah,
we're
there's
actually
no.
already starting off. Malfi starts off with Misty, cracks it, ponders, likes where they're at, and draws a card. Side
Yeah,
Nanra, thank you for the subscription. Holy crap!
yeah, Sayonara. Welcome to the crew. Thanks to see you, buddy. Thank you for the subscription.
Absolutely. Dewookie is going to Scalding Tarn, crack it, go get an island themselves, and I'm a little afraid of Dewookie's deck here. He's also going to
Yeah,
ponder.
yeah. So Dewooki's deck is so. I love this because one of my closest friends, shout out to Kevin, love you, buddy. He's
Love
actually
you,
the guy who got
Kevin.
me into Legacy. He plays Sneak and Show. He was playing Sneak and Show back in these days.
Right.
So, he has been a huge proponent of this deck even before the days of Grizzlebrand, and we are sneaking in Progenitus. We're sneaking in
What?
Woodfall Primus. Of
Oh,
course, we still got Big Mama Emrakul, but at the
well,
same time, we do have some of the really interesting tech from back in the day. Wipe away in the main board because back then, sneak and show mirrors were really like the most common place that you'd see. Those like that was the combo mirror back in the day.
right.
Hmm.
This is we're in for a treat. Looks like
Oh yeah.
he's going to get a Melfi's going to get a trop, and he's going to play a what? Is it a Goyf?
So
What's he going to do?
so that's probably either
Ooh, a
good.
ponder.
Okay, we're going with another ponder. Probably didn't like one of the cards that he was going to see anyways. So
Could be.
yeah. So in Malfi's deck, though, we got Bant Horizon. So this is taking advantage of the fact that a lot of the good cards back then couldn't deal with something like a Tarmogoyf because remember, there's no Fatal Push anymore. It was either like Swords to Plowshares or making the mistake of bolting a Goyf and then have to commit more and more resources into it. So this is really just trying to take advantage of the fact that Goyf is just such a chunky boy, and also running a three of Terravore, which is
Super
oh
sick.
just
So
I
sick.
love it. I love the tech. I think this deck is hilarious, and I honestly am so excited to see it. And of course, the return of the OG Broken Planeswalker, Jace the Mind Sculptor, with a 2
Right.
of in the deck.
And it
Yeah.
looks like he
Oh,
does play the Goyf. So this is happening.
yep. So that Goyf is already a one, two, probably a
Two,
2-3.
three. Yep, there's a lot of laments
No,
and ponders.
it
Oh,
said
now it's a
sorcery
3/4.
and yeah, now it's a 3-4. So this is a clock. Now, it's important that both of these matchups are a Force of Will 4 days deck,
Right.
and so because of that, well, actually, so Show and Tell has 2 days, and 4 Force and three Pierce. Okay, so it's got a
Okay.
little bit more,
Yeah.
a little bit more. Oh, and a one misdirection in the main. Wow.
That is some hot tech right there.
Yeah, this is a lot. Like
Looks
I'm
like
actually really impressed by the amount of fetch, not fetch, the amount of counterspell. But you really need that protection back in the day.
well, he's gonna need something a little bit better than protection right now because he's gonna about to get beat down by a Goyf. The Wookiee did brainstorm on end step,
Mhm.
and put a couple back, and looks like he's gonna crack a fetch. That way, whatever it was he put on top is gonna go bye bye.
Oh wait, is Malfi going through an earthquake?
Oh, he stifled.
Oh, is that a stifle?
It is a stifle.
Oh,
No
oh
fetch,
yeah,
no shuffle.
stifle in the main. Oh, I hate that feeling. Oh, I hate that feeling.
They're
Oh
gonna be a
man.
response.
Oh, there's got to be a response. You got to clear those top cards, as well as the fact that you have to
There's a
make your
force.
land. Yep, we got force
Pitching a
pitching for.
force. Ooh. That is a heck of a card to fight over right there.
Yeah. Oof. I mean, I've done it before, but
Oh,
yeah. Oh, we
force
got a
pitch
force pitch
force
and a
back up.
force. Oh, who's gonna come out here? Dwookie still has more counter spells
And 1 mana up also.
and 1 mana.
Oh, it looks like it's just gonna
Oh
happen. So
yeah,
he's
it
gonna
resolved.
he's gonna play out the pedal and a City of Traders
Oh, do we
and a
see?
sneak attack.
Oh, oh. Let's. I hope. Oh, Malfi has
And
a
there's a
response to this.
daze
There's a daze.
and a force pitching a brainstorm. I can't see
And it
from
looks like
the
a pitching a
glare.
brainstorm. I think it's pitching a brainstorm. This counter war battle is great. I love this. This is
Yes, it is a
this is
brainstorm.
great.
Holy crap.
Oh, Malfi with 2 cards in hand. I don't think he's got permission. And he does have another island to if he has a daze, but
Daze.
yeah,
And
it
it
looks
looks
like
like
the force resolves and we got sneak attack on the field.
that's a battle well fought and
That
earned.
that was well played by Wookiee as well. He let the stifle go, even though he knew that he wouldn't make land drop, hit the City of Traders, and just went for it.
And that must have been an insane brainstorm.
Yeah,
It really makes you wonder what it actually was that he put on top.
yeah. Oh, could he have baited out the force? The stifle? No, that's too big brain. Oh,
Well,
and we
there's an
see
Emrakul.
Evergruel. Yep. And Annihilator 6 trigger, and down. Malfi is down to 2,
Yep.
and
Gonna wasteland the City of Traders.
yeah, wasteland it. Might as well. Everything's going away.
Yep.
Hey, yep. And oof, but now, so this is the hard part when it comes to old school sneak and show. Is if in the case that Malfi is able to crawl back here, draw a few more lands, and then like I've seen games, and I've actually won games from this position as well.
Right.
So it is still a fallacy of the deck back then is they didn't have a follow up. This is before like they were really playing omniscience and stuff like that, and trying to win through the combo turn of release the ants.
Yeah, absolutely. And with how much, I mean, we just witnessed 3 minutes of just nonstop brutality,
Hmm.
fighting over the stifle, fighting over the sneak attack, and now they're both got to sit back and lick their wounds. If Malfi gets a Terravor, that's
Yeah,
gonna be huge. With how much, I mean, how much is in his graveyard? That's quite a bit.
that's it. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ish, but there are other outs such as like an intuition because that's a one of in the deck, as well as the fact that a lot of the show and tell deck is pure just cantrips, but because this is before the days of preordain, so
Hmm.
4 brainstorm and 4 ponder at least, and we've already seen a couple brainstorms and ponders, so
Yeah,
this is it's entirely possible Malfi can crawl back here.
there's a
It's
wasteland. Probably gonna eat
yeah.
that ancient tomb.
Oh, I would eat that ancient tomb in a heartbeat. You want to die as much mana as possible.
Although he does already have the sneak attack in
He
play,
already
so
does have the sneak attack. That being said, oh man, this is so much fun. I remember playing Legacy like this. This is the best. I was on
looks like
back then. I was probably
Malfi.
on Death and no, I was on Elves. I was playing with Elves.
Looks like a hard cast days against Jace.
Oof. Yeah. Well, that is another thing. Is if Malfi lands any one of these Jaces, if Malfi lands a threat, it could be completely over. And
Right.
also, Malfi's running 4 Knight of the Reliquary in the main,
Yeah.
and those are massive right now. Of course, he's missing white mana to cast it though.
Right. And this just goes to show also, if you're playing against your sneak and show opponent and they do play an Emrakul, there's another Goyf.
Yep.
You're not dead. In this
No.
instance, there was so much burned that I mean the game has continued on for several turns even.
Oh yeah, and this is an important lesson in the sneak and show player's career is learning that the best target to put in is Grizzlebrand. But these
Well,
are the days before Grizzlebrand, so
right.
it's one of those things that okay, what you have to have a threat or a backup threat, and it looks like Malfi is dazing the. I'm guessing it was a.
The hard cast days.
Oh, okay. It was a hardcast daze, and this was okay. No, it was a hardcast force in
Oh,
response to the Tarmogoyf, and then he dazed it.
yep.
And yep, there's the wasteland to hit the volcanic island.
Mm.
Okay, so that Goyf is massive. Even with the graveyard being shuffled in off of the Emrakul trigger,
Well,
this Goyf is still gonna finish things very quickly. It looks like we got land, instant sorcery, planeswalker, and
there's a
creature.
there's a lot. I
Do we
mean,
have
it's
a?
pretty. He's a 6/7, so yeah.
He's a 6/7. Yeah. So we are looking at here a massive Goyf, and this will finish it in 2 turns. Oh wait, 5, 6.
Lotus petal.
Oh, oh, we were missing artifact, and
Oh
there's
yeah,
the
because it got
artifact.
shuffled in.
Yeah, I got shuffled in.
I think.
Yep, that's Goyf's getting in for 5.
Yep. It's 2-4 at the moment. So
Yep,
it's the next play wins.
the next play.
Stink and Show,
Exact.
coming back to Stink and Show, it's wide open. You have to have more than one threat. You have to be able to do this right here and now.
Yeah. And even any sort of cantrip, any way of digging deeper, an intuition, anything like that, it gets the win.
Yep. Or a bolt.
But if I'm Malfi, I'm snapping off counterspells on anything that he casts.
He's
Oh, he's
stifling.
stifling the sneak attack trigger,
Okay.
and so
He's going to sack petal.
cracking red, activate. What goes up to a 6/7?
There's
Oh,
Emrakul again. Yep.
there's the
And that's it.
Emrakul, and whoo, man, that was a close game.
That
Oh
was a
man,
close game.
and I have to admit, a little bit of bias there. I was rooting for you, Malfi. I really wanted to see the comeback win. I love seeing those.
And it was close. It was
It was
really
very
close.
close.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about sideboards. So let's
All right.
let's let's look from Malfi's perspective here. So his sideboard has got Vendilion Click, Trigon Predator, Tormod's Crypt, 2 Spell Pierce, 1 Sword of Temptation, 3 Path to Exiles, 2 Crows and Grip, Bajuka Bog, and 2 Elemental Blasts.
And 2 of the
I
blue one, blue specifically, elemental blast.
Yep, 2 blue Elemental Blasts. I Crows and Grip would be good against Sneak and Show. It'd also take him off the pedal.
The Crows and Grip, I think, is just a little bit too cute when it comes to targeting that.
Yep.
I'm telling you one thing though, my number one bring in Sower of Temptation.
Sword of
I
Temptation would
love.
be fantastic because you
Oh
get
my
control of
gosh.
that.
Yeah, I love that tech. Being able to ETB, hey, okay, yeah, your show and tell resolves. You don't have an omniscience to put in, so you know it has to be a creature.
Hmm.
Flip over your sower temptation. They flip over their Emrakul.
And
You
you take
steal
it.
control over the Emrakul, and there you go.
Yep. That
Yeah,
I agree.
I love the sower temptation.
I think
Another,
Path would be a good addition.
I think path, but the problem is if we look at it, of course, the 4 Emrakul, the 2 Progenitus, the only real target is the Woodfall Primus. And answering that with an exile, I think, is the best way to do it. But is he already? Yeah, he's already running 4 Swords to Plowshares. Do you really
True,
think he needs more of
true.
that?
Not really, no. And swords didn't do him anything that game either.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, we can. There's also some dead cards here in the form of engineered explosives and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That
I would
there's
have a
no.
feeling those would probably come out in probably blue elemental blast
Oh yeah.
because that's
Oh
just
yeah.
an easy way to take care of sneak attack.
Oh yeah, definitely. For the blue red show and tell player though, so we got 1 Dryad Arbor,
Mm-hmm.
2 Pyroblasts, 2 Elemental Blasts, 2 Surgical Extraction, 3 Blood Moon,
Three
two
blood moon.
Vendilion Click, and 3 Leyline of the Void. What do you like here?
Ley line of sanctity.
Oh, Leyline of Sanctity.
Yep.
Sorry.
So I really think with how Malfi's mana base is so greedy, the blood
Oh, it's
moons,
extremely greeting.
the blood moons
Yes.
would absolutely destroy him.
100%. You and I are on the same wavelength there, my friend. I think that
Absolutely.
is. Oh yeah, I would bring in the 3 Blood Moons immediately.
Yeah. Yep. The
Um,
blood moons, the red elemental blast. That just gives you another form of permission. It although we just saw Dewooki's hand, and it doesn't look like he did put the red elemental blast in. But
yeah.
and fair enough, you Tarmogoyf red elemental blast really isn't going to but do anything about that. But at the same time too, uh, having another way to fight in a counterspell battle if you do get into one, knowing that your opponent is on daze, is on force of will, is on stifle, for instance. God,
Yeah.
that's a great answer to stifle.
Oh yeah, I agree completely. Stifle, I think, is going to be a massive player in this game simply because of the fact that this deck, unlike modern versions of Show and Tells, where
Hmm.
it's more of a blue green Omni Tell is the most common version.
Right,
Like you're seeing a lot of these activated abilities. You can stifle Lotus Petal, you can stifle Fetch Land, and in fact, like you don't realize it, but Sneak and Show is a very thin mana base with very thin margins. It wants exactly 3 mana as fast as possible. And
right,
if you take him off of 1 or 2 fetch lands off of a stifle, you can definitely buy yourself enough time to finish out the game with a Tarmogoyf or Terravore, anything like that.
right. I totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. I think stifles are definitely a stay in this deck. I think it's so good. I really, really like the inclusion of it.
Stifle as a whole is such a fantastic card.
Oh yeah.
I will give to the fact that Stifle is a very dead card in a lot of matchups in modern day Legacy, but Stifle has such a brutal when it resolves and when you need it and when you have it. It's such a brutal effect. You're basically completely. That's the biggest tempo play that you can possibly do to somebody. Stop a fetch land. Stop a
Aether Vial trigger.
Aether Vial trigger. You tap.
Yeah.
Nope, I'll stifle that. A Planeswalker activation. I mean, there is a ton of things that stifle.
It is in my top 10 most hated cards ever in Magic, and in Legacy it's, I think, either 1 or 2 for me.
Yeah.
I hate the card. I love it in the fact that it's so freaking good, and
Mm-hmm.
that it's so good because my opponent always has it when I never play around it. But there's no feeling worse than having your fetch land stifled.
No,
It's
I
just,
totally agree.
yeah. And Left Coast, you're calling it in the chat right now. Like, yeah, you can
Yep.
get people with it, and it just feels so bad when you say, "I'm gonna fetch," and then you say in response, "Fetch." I'm just like, "Oh no, 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 no! Don't do this."
Right. And there's the
Yeah.
Misty, which he does hold up for the simple fact that he knows there's a stifle. I guarantee you
Oh,
that's where
there's a
his
snipe.
hesitation comes.
If I'm leading off a basic island pass, that is 100% stifle.
Absolutely.
There's no way that's not stifle. And
Yep.
okay, we're seeing Malfing Ponder here.
And there are some modern day standard legal cards that are very much is Stifle esque, and they don't see a whole lot of play. But Stifle will always be the ultimate 1 mana. No, you can't.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember when the cycling Stifle Bird was printed in Amonkhet.
Hmm.
Everybody was really excited because there's like, it's a cycling stifle that's uncounterable,
Yeah,
and
I
it's in
draw,
standard.
and it stifles you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I played a little bit of that
Up,
with
up, up. He cracked, and there's the stifle, and he's
yes,
going to crack in
there it is.
response.
Oh, that feels so bad.
Gosh. So we
Yeah,
were right there.
yeah. There's 100% a
But
stifle,
he is
and
cracking Tarn in response.
he is cracking turn response, and
So does he
there
completely
might be a.
tempo himself in days? That stifle.
Oh my gosh, if he dazes afterwards, oh, like yeah, I'll take that trade. If you daze and put yourself back to turn 0, okay, no,
Spell Pierce.
that was spell
And a
pierce
daze.
and a daze.
Oh, does he have more?
Oh, that was punishing, man.
No fetch. Stifle resolves.
Yep.
Man. At least
Oh,
yeah, it's brutal, but
that just gave me chills. Oh my
mhm,
gosh. Yeah, this is why, like, the rogue. It used to be whenever I'd face Rogue Delver, it would just be instantly like, okay, this is gonna hurt because I have to play the Stifle. There's nothing worse than having your Veteran Explorer trigger stifled. That
right.
feels so bad, especially when you actually counted on that trigger and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna pass now,
Well, there's
and
an
then they
easy
waste.
solution. Don't play Nick Fit. Anyway,
Oh,
moving on.
excuse. You love to hate on my favorite deck, but
I do, but it's all in fun. I love Nick Fit. Nick
oh
Fit's
yeah,
the
oh
just
yeah.
the dirtiest, grindiest, rampiest, like greatest black green thing I want to be doing every game of Magic.
Oh
It's
yeah, our
ridiculous.
first conversation was about Bug Zenith and Nick Fit
It
back in the
was.
day.
I was trying to
Hey,
jam the two of them together. It doesn't work.
yep. No, no. But yeah, I still love the deck, even though I'm on Ant now. I still look at my veteran explorers. I look at my Cabal therapies, my foiled village rights, and I miss them.
Oh yeah, looks like Malfi's gonna play out a
Yeah.
Red Knight of the Reliquary off of Horizon and take one.
Yeah, so this is one of the most important cards in the matchup, simply for just the fact that it's the biggest beat stick by
Yes.
far.
Yep. I agree.
Uh, this is going to grow so rapid, but once again, like you're saying, there's a good chunk of this mana base that's already looking very, very susceptible to a Blood Moon. If
Absolutely.
if Wookiee slams a Blood Moon right here, I think we're looking at game over.
Malfi looks like
Uh,
he's got four cards in his hand too. I'd be willing to
yeah.
bet he would fight over that. Looks like he
Oh
is going to
yeah.
crack both of those fetches right
Yep.
now.
If he fetches Island Mountain, I'm saying Blood Moon. Island Mountain, here it comes.
And hopefully he's got a little bit of permission to back this up because this is going to be a pivotal moment right here.
Yeah, this is where the counterspell war is going to be.
Yep. And there's the Blood Moon.
There's a Blood Moon.
And
Yep.
there's a Force pitching a
Force
Jace.
pitching JTMS.
I
And
guarantee
oh
you.
no, Blood Moon went to the graveyard.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
I
maybe
don't
he's got
know.
another Blood Moon in his hand though.
Yeah, exactly. That could be the possibility, or her, because he had 3 in the sideboard. He had a
Yeah.
3 in this, and I would brought in all 3.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When one is good, three is better. I
Oh,
mean,
oh
let's
yeah.
just be honest.
Uh, my good buddy Kevin, who plays Sneak and Show, he's against Turbo Depths,
Hmm.
and Turbo Depths had combo on field, and uh, Kevin goes, "Oh, show and tell,"
Hmm.
and I look over his hand, and he's got Grizzlebrand, Emrakul, and Blood Moon.
Hmm.
And my buddy looks at him. He looks at his hand, looks at the combo on the board, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, resolves."
Blood Moon.
Puts in Blood Moon. The
Absolutely.
smoothest, coolest little flip of the card, and he puts in a Bayou and just immediately looks down and goes, "Oh,
Yep.
crap!" Yeah, beautiful play.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Malfi's got a wasteland, which may be a very nice mountain here shortly. Knight of the
Yeah.
Reliquary just kind of sitting idle.
Well, because there's no lands in the graveyard right now. There's no
It's still a
point getting in.
2/2.
It's still a 2-2, but
Looks like he's going to play
oh,
out a
we
sneak
see a sneak
attack,
attack though.
and there's the Spell Pierce.
Yep.
Malfi with all the permission this game, just bringing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but even if it's a 2-2, Malfi has the capability of turning it into a 4-4 on this turn
Correct.
because of
Crack draw
either
card.
cracking her. cracking to draw a card or
And
sacrifice. Yeah,
yep,
exactly. So I see the advantage of not attacking that turn.
yep. Just for the sole purpose of gaining value off, going to fetch
Yeah,
the land that you actually want.
yeah, exactly. And also important here, no Caracas in the deck, even the entire 75.
No, looks like he put a windswept heath and got a trop. So
Yep.
that was even more so. Was able to
Turn it into a 5/5, and now this is an actual threat. This is a very valid threat, and it can easily turn into a 6/6 with
right.
that wasteland. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we
Chaotic
got
Bear would
here.
be proud. Oh,
Yeah.
actually,
This.
he even just he even just made the comment. The 4-color loam trick.
Yeah.
Alfie's gonna brainstorm.
Oh man. Brainstorm with an onboard or shuffle. Oh,
Hmm.
that's so nice.
And for all of you guys that have just joined us, I know there's been quite a few people that have joined. We are the MTGPL, the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. This is our Tuesday Legacy Fight Night, and this week it is themed. This is pre-Innistrad Legacy. No Delver, no Liliana, no Deathrite Shaman, which there's none anyway. But
Yeah.
it's just this is what a lot of people feel is the purest form of Legacy.
Yeah, this is the old school days back when Jace the Mind Sculptor was the best planeswalker. No Oko,
No
no
Oko,
snow
no
bullshit,
Veil of
no
Summer.
Veil of Summer. Just good old fashioned legacy, and it has a different ban list. Things like
Mm-hmm.
Gitaxian Probe are still banned, correct?
No, the Taxian Probe is actually legal. So is the
No
Sensei Divining
way.
Top.
Oh yeah, so
So
Gitaxian Probe
top
and
top
Top are legal.
miracles was not a thing because you didn't have miracles.
Yeah, you didn't have the miracles yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
Wookiee's gonna
yeah.
brainstorm.
No Oko, yeah. Oh, Git Probe is banned, is what Chaotic's saying.
I thought it wasn't.
Uh, pull it up.
Um, maybe it is now, but I don't think it was back then.
Yeah, because New Phyrexia had already happened.
Yeah, thank you. It is not banned. I
It
didn't
is
think
not
so.
banned. Yeah.
Nope. Thank you, Mr. Jack Dax, for the ban list.
Yeah. Appreciate
I was
that.
gonna say because Infect is pretty much its purest form in
Yeah, Infect was when
Innistrad
it was
Legacy.
its most broken. It was when it was considered like the tier one. Like, do you have an Infect matchup? Okay, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah. Well, and you
Yeah.
used the wrong B word. You said broken. It's actually best. It's just the best deck. I mean,
It is. Being able to, first of all, being able to see your opponent's hand for free, and you
yes.
don't care about paying life. You
No.
don't care about your opponent's life. You don't care about anything like that, and also drawing a card.
Yeah.
Like, come
Exactly.
on.
Oh, like you wouldn't play Git Probe if you had the
Oh, I would
opportunity.
100% play Get
Absolutely.
Pro. I would
Yeah.
100% play Get Pro.
Right.
Yeah, like who didn't play Get Pro back then?
Absolutely.
But
It's the Red Rover card. Git Probe, Red Rover,
yeah,
send Glistener Elf right over. You know it's getting through.
yeah, yep, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, I have died to Glistener Elf too many times because of that card. Yeah, that deck was ridiculous. I think I was messing around with Blue Black Reanimator back then
Mm-hmm. Blue
because
Black Reanimator.
Jin Cataxius was the shit.
Oh, he still is.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it looks like we see some cantripping and Git Probe is completely fair magic. Yeah, the reason
Absolutely.
why it's only legal in two formats, being, well, technically three with this one, being restricted in Vintage and Commander, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah, totally fair and balanced Magic the Gathering card. Can we have the right Shaman back now?
Yes, I agree. Deathrite Shaman.
Oh, oh, I would love to have Death right back. I miss him.
Yeah, but when Deathrite Shaman was legal, there were a lot of people that didn't share that sentiment.
Yeah,
Looks like a
that's true.
show and tell is going to be on the stack here, and there's a spell pierce. Man, Wookiee cannot get anything to resolve here.
Yeah, no. I mean, Malfi brought in, let's see, a 4, 8, probably another the spell piercer. So it's at 6 counter spells roughly.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's
Wait, no,
just
6. 4, 8, 10.
yeah,
10 counter spells roughly. So And I mean, there's plenty of free slots for it because you had to cut the engineer explosive. So,
Yeah, but that's just he's had it every time,
oh
and
yeah,
for good reasons. He is playing the beatdown control deck plan right now,
yeah, exactly.
biding his time, drawing his cards, getting in for incremental damage where he
And
can, and Wookiee's going to
that's
scoop it
lethal.
up. So that's going to tie it up. We're 1-1. So again, for all of you guys that have just joined us, I am Beyond Sadistic. That is Dr. Leo. This is the MTGPL Legacy Fight Night, and this is Pre-Innistrad Legacy. The super hotness that once was
Yeah,
is now again.
yeah, Prez, thank you for letting us know about that. So misstep is banned.
Yeah,
Probe is not banned.
no,
Misstep is banned.
yes, because
Because
that makes perfect sense because Misstep allowed every deck to have a counterspell.
yeah, that was when we talk about mistakes in Magic, we're gonna look back at New Phyrexia, and not and it's one of those mistake sets. But then we look at other things like what's called Throne of Eldraine.
Mm-hmm.
Like which one produced more broken cards?
No, that's a fair. I mean, that's a pretty debated topic there too, bud.
Yeah, and Island Delver go, yes, you are supposed to let the Wookiee win.
In that's only on a Falcon in the middle of the Kessel Run. Let's be honest,
Yes, and also when you're
or in
playing
a Cantina.
the yeah, because big hairy carpet that can rip your arms off is never fun. Speaking of which, I recently, as some of you may notice in comparison to my other days of streaming, I have upgraded my setup. I am no
That
longer
is
on
true.
a I'm no longer on a laptop and a camp chair with a very not nice headset. I actually have a real computer now, and I'm using this expensive, real high-end computer to play games like Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes, absolutely. Which is
Because
what you should be doing, because Coder is one of the greatest things that has ever been brought to us.
oh yes, oh yes, I am playing it over again. I'm doing a dark side run, and it is the best thing ever.
Oh
I
yeah.
am. I'm playing like nostalgia trip games rather than like playing actual games.
Well, you know what though? You've spent a long time hunched over at a laptop. You look much more relaxed. Your posture is so much better.
Oh my
I
god, having a real chair is nice, dude.
right? Yeah, I totally agree. So
Yeah.
enough about Star Wars. On to Magic. Looks
Yes.
like
So
they're shuffling up for game number 3.
so this is the danger zone when it comes to Sneak and Show, though. It's because of the fact that in this version of Sneak and Show, it can turn one throw something onto the field. So and that eliminates a lot of the mana counter spells that Malfi has, being the spell pierces and dazes. So Malfi has to almost mulligan to a forcible hand in order to stop a possible turn one. Because I mean, in this matchup, if I'm the Wookiee, I'm going fast.
You're right. And honestly, I think if I were Wookiee, I would have put in my red elemental blast. I saw nothing
Yes.
but counter spells, and I basically had to pay a tax to play everything, or it went to my graveyard. I literally would have that would have been my move there. Granted,
Yeah.
it does slow me down just a tad, but it also gives me an answer to everything else. And that's
Yeah.
really with how beat down Wookiee was last game by permission. I would have been looking for anything that I could have done to at least let me resolve something.
Yeah, exactly. I would 100% bring the four blasts in. It trading one for one rather than two for one with forces and dazes
Mm-hmm.
is it's going to set you back too much. And Malfi, as we've seen, has a lot of pressure. Those Nether Reliquaries can finish games fast. Like
Right.
I think the blast effects are really going to be needed here.
Yep.
And
And Wookiee does lead off with a fetch line. Being on the play, that's a big
mhm,
thing. You can't get that stifled when your opponent
cannot
has
get
no
that
land.
stifled. And we're seeing a Ponder from Malfi off of a Tundra.
Yep. Does he like what he sees? That's a big question. Looks like he does. He is going to leave him on top. He is going to draw and move on. Wookiee, really, I honestly think I'm looking for my fastest start or a way to stop my opponent from playing the game.
Exactly. I personally, I would be in for the race here. Hey, Prez, thank you for the subscription, buddy. Welcome
Awesome.
to the team. Thank you.
Welcome. And Prez will be playing later on. Prez got the
Yeah.
honor of being able to play two decks this week.
Yes, he did, and in fact, he has brought two different decks. So we're gonna actually see some quite some variety here, and like I'm pretty excited for some of the decks that we're playing tonight. It harkens back to a simpler age that I love.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if
So
for those of us that know Prez, one of those will be no surprise.
yeah, yeah, the guy has pretty much dedicated his life to one deck in particular.
Right. Which we don't judge him for,
Yeah.
although it's a little creepy.
I mean, we all got our loves. I mean, I play a tier or two deck at best, but I love that deck so much.
My new thing is Reanimator Depths. It it does some really broken things, and it's like budget. It's mono black, but it's
Yeah.
there's a lot of times too. It just sucks horribly, but it's
Yeah.
still such a blast to play.
See, I really love the Esper Vial list. Those are become like my new like love. And it comes from writing about it. I've had a really fun article that I got the chance to write about it. And diving into the deck, there's just so many things you could do, and it's like one of the few decks that like really abuses as it enters the battlefield effects, like
Right,
meddling mages and Plague Engineer, and it leverages it so efficiently, and it's
right.
so much fun to watch going. You just do all this flicker stuff and bounce all this stuff and steal all your opponent's creatures with freaking Gilded Drake. It's the best. I love it.
You know, and one thing too to pay attention, Malfi has fetched a lot of basics here, which leads me to believe that he's counterspell light.
Yeah, I am in agreement here. But I mean, to be fair, Malfi only has two basics in the deck. He has one forest and one island,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
think he's just trying to not get got by Blood Moon.
Well, because I'm sure he knows he's going to have to fight over something here, especially with Wookiee sitting at 3 mana. Malfi's got his Tarmogoyf now, so that's probably a 3/4
Mhm.
or a three.
Uh,
Yeah, it's going to
Two
be
three.
a 2/3.
It looks like they both have ponders in the graveyard
Okay,
and
so
fetch
two
lands.
ponders and two lands.
And importantly here, it looks like Wookiee's fetching on the Incept. Now, I really like this fetch on the Incept because it taps down their Malfi's last blue mana if
Hmm.
he did want to stifle there. I
Correct.
mean, you're trading a land for them to be tapped out, but I think in this matchup, the margins are so thin that little stuff like that is what's going to edge out the win.
Right. And these guys
Yeah.
both have got beautiful choices for basic lands.
Don't worry, chaotic. I am not on any more grindy mid-range decks. I don't play fair anymore. I like storming people off now.
So this is going to be the interesting point. Is he going to again take advantage of him only having one blue up, fetch? That way you don't get got by a stifle.
Yes, left coast specifically. I like to try to storm. I've been okay at it. I've been okay. Not anything to brag about, but have just not exactly the best. But it's a steep learning curve with the deck. Okay.
I love TES, but my biggest downfall is I want to cast Peer into the Abyss every game, and it just doesn't work like that.
I forced it in Ant once, and I was like, okay, 9 mana is impossible in Ant. Like it's possible in Test because you have the Moxen, you have the what's it called, and you have a lot more like permanent
Right.
based mana
Yeah, like
rather
the Mox
than
Opals,
Ant where it's like,
Chromox.
well, this is all the mana I have in my hand. I hope I can figure it out from there.
Right. And there is a Blood Moon on the stack. And it
Ooh.
is going to resolve? Yes, it does.
Oh, it does. Okay, so your theory that Malfi being what's it called, tech counterspell
Counterspell
light.
light. Oh, and he's got the Crows and Grip.
Oh,
So,
or he just has the answer.
but at the exact same time, too, that allows him to grow his Tarmogoyf. But
Hmm.
he doesn't have to fight over that card now.
Yeah, and I bet you Malfi brought those crows and grips in after the blood
Blood
moon was
Moon.
shown.
Well, he really had to overextend a lot. If Wookiee had brought more threats faster that he had to fight over on the stack, I think that last game would have been quite a bit different. Wookiee kind of ran out of steam and didn't really have a whole lot of follow-up answers. So Malfi was allowed to draw more cards, see more of his deck to actually have more answers.
Yeah. And looks like 4 mana here. I think this might be a sneak attack.
Yeah, I would
Yep.
have to agree with you. And there's the force.
There's
So
the force.
pitching Jace.
Pitching Jace.
And you're gonna have a follow-up?
And let's see. We Spell Pierce from Wookiee.
Mm-hmm. Which is gonna put him.
It looks like because Malfi's 1 mana short for this, so he can't just pay
Correct.
for it.
So he's
Let's
gonna
see if
tap
Malfi
and
has any other
daze.
version.
Oh, he's gonna spell pierce
Oh,
back.
okay. We got
Wow.
Spell Pierce back. Okay, yeah.
These counter wars have been fantastic.
Oh, there was so much fun. The
Yeah.
counter wars back in the day have always been way more.
Oh wait, they're still on the stack.
Oh yeah,
This
is
is
also
still
on the stack.
this is still a battle. There's a daze picking up that
There's
island.
days.
So
Oof.
Malfi is tapped out right now also. So he would have to pick up a land.
Yeah, I don't think. How many cards does Malfi have in hand? I think
Looks
only
like
two.
2. Yeah.
Oh man, this is intense.
Oh, sneak attack resolves.
Oh, and Wookiee has the mana up to activate it as well.
Correct.
Let's see what he puts in.
And there's an Emrakul.
There's the Emrakul.